Hello, Aaron Wills again, bringing you another reaction video that I started on Friday, the 11th day of October in 2024 at 8:25 p.m. Along with welcoming you to my channel, allow me to thank you for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe before sharing this video and turning on the post notification bell. That'd be very much appreciated. Thank you. Alright. I'm going to find a video to react to that's not going to get me copyright restricted. Or it's a copyright struck. Whatever you would say. Here we go. YouTube.com. Enter. It's hot as fuck in my room right now. Right, here we go. We had to have done day 5 already. Well, let's see what else we have. That's Brooks accused. That's day 5. Let's do day 5 anyway, shall we? I'm sure we've already done it. Let's do it again.
One word to describe SGU would be opportunity.
It gives me an opportunity to work towards a career that I know I'll be happy in.
This journey and this experience has...
To the parties forthwith. I believe she may have provided even the other note, a copy of the other note in my response at that time, but at a minimum I know.
This is the trial of Darrell Brooks, who was accused of 76 counts that pertain to the 2021 Waukesha, Wisconsin Christmas parade, when he allegedly, well now we know he did, drove his red SUV, a 2010 Ford Escape to be exact, into the Christmas parade, killing 6 and injuring dozens more, including one little fella named Jackson Sparks. Little 8-year-old fella, cute little guy. He's dead as a result of this monster, or this idiot, piece of shit, whatever you want to call him. Let's watch this.
My response was copied and provided to the parties. I did note that I saw Mr. Brooks reviewing the papers. They were put on the corner of his table. I wrote down the time. It's not at my fingertips. I'll look for that. But in any event, I did want to address that with you, Mr. Brooks. You've been in the courtroom. You've been meaningfully participating. Are you asking to go to the other courtroom?
We went back on the record.
That is Darrell Brooks. Or Darrell, I've heard people pronounce it different ways in this trial, but that's him there. That's the one accused of running his Ford Escape into the Waukesha, Wisconsin Christmas parade in 2021, killing 6 and injuring dozens others. Dozen others. I guess, however you would say it. I'm so well spoken, ain't I?
I was very emotional at that time. Still very emotional, but I'm attempting as best I can to hold it together.
Well, what a brave man he is. He's attempting to hold it together. Well, how nice.
That does lead me to, since we are addressing certain things outside the...
Well, I'm addressing this first, sir. Are you making a request to go to the other...
I'm not making any requests at this time. Like I just stated, I'm trying my best to hold
Shut up, you piece of dog shit motherfucker.
everything together, considering how this day has been. I can't expect anybody else to know what's inside my head, to know what I'm going through right now, but yeah. We'll just leave that.
Well, that's why she's asking, asshole. Why don't you answer without being a fucking asshole? I don't think it's possible for you, is it?
Right there.
All right, thank you. That is noted for the record. At some point, sir, after I admitted Exhibit 6, you raised an objection, and I told you I would allow you to raise that outside the presence of the jury. Now's your opportunity to do that.
And which one would you be referring to?
Exhibit 6, sir.
Or the The video,
We've seen multiple videos, but
Yeah.
yes, Exhibit 6 is a video, sir.
I think it's very clear what I was referring to in that video. The interview portion of the officer with the 3 individuals has language in it that you made a ruling about, pertaining to a whole different entire,
Which part of the video, sir?
the interview part. I'm gonna say it again, as I've already said it clearly enough. The interview part between the officer and the 3.
Unfortunately, the judge isn't allowed to come down and smack him in his fucking mouth because she has to worry about his appeal when he makes one, and we know now he's going to. Yeah, she has to treat him with kid gloves because if she, tells him, quit being a fucking asshole, jack fucker, then his appeal might get through in the future. That's why she's handling him with kid gloves and being so nice to him when he's such a jackass. And so she's forced to be nice to him even though he's such a jackass to her, the judge.
3 individuals.
And what specifically are you referring to? What statement, sir? I need some specificity.
Do you need it played? Do you need it played?
Mr. Brooks, you're the one making the objection. Please make your offer of proof so I can rule on it.
The offer of proof is that there's language said by Erica Patterson in that interview that can be audible, referring to another situation in another county. You made a ruling on that would not be admitted into evidence. So at the very least, that portion of the video that you've already admitted.
Well, it sounds like he's making a viable argument. I don't know why he has to be a fucking asshole about it. But it sounds like he's making a viable argument. We'll see what the judge has to say about it.
Into evidence should be removed, or the whole video should be struck and removed from the record. And I'm saying that because of the ruling that you made, the judicial determination that you made, Your Honor.
Let me turn to the state. Attorney Apper, I don't specifically recall. If I need to review it on a break, maybe I will, but do you have any idea what this is referring to?
I do not, Your Honor. I did not hear anything in that recording that would violate your previous orders.
It's very clear if the video is played that you can hear language said in that portion of the video that you clearly ruled on.
I'll review it at a later point in time. The state will need to just file that clip on a flash drive so I can review that in chambers. From my perspective, even if there were to be something, it was not offered for the truth of the matter asserted. This was to provide
I like her a lot. She did such a great job in this trial. You can tell she's obviously a very intelligent woman, very intelligent person, a great judge, and she kept her patience with this guy a lot better than I would have. You know, it's her job to do so, and she was trying to prevent any possibility of him getting an appeal through in case he would be found guilty, and he was. She has to do her job, but some people, we're all, and she's just human, and she didn't get, at one point, the prosecuting attorney, I think her name's Susan Opper, she kind of got mad, and no, it was the other one. It wasn't Susan Opper, it was one of the other district attorneys. Got mad and kind of let it out a little bit about him.
an account of what the officer was experiencing, but I'll review it. If there is something in there, I certainly can. It doesn't change the fact that the video itself is admissible. It might have an impact on whether it's played again for the jury, at least at that particular point. But again, I didn't personally catch that, but there was a lot going on in that video at that time, a lot of audio. There's clearly, in addition to the audio from the squad, you can hear the radio, so I will need to review it again. Mr. Brooks, I'd appreciate if you not roll your eyes at me. There was a lot going on in that video. I don't think anyone in this courtroom
He's such a fucking asshole. A murdering fucking asshole.
would disagree with me. What I'm telling you, I'm giving you the opportunity to raise the issue since you essentially didn't, well, let me state it this way. You raised it when you thought it was appropriate. I told you I'd take it up outside the presence of the jury. That's what I'm giving you the opportunity to do. What I'm telling you is I'm not going to make a ruling specifically because I need to watch the video. And so I don't think that's something you should be rolling your eyes at. That's proper for this court. It would be something that if I were to just give my ruling right now, it would be something that someone could look at later on and say, well, you just admitted on the record you didn't hear it yourself. So what I'm telling you, sir, is I'm gonna take the time, not now during the trial, but on a break when I can look at it in chambers and keep a careful ear out for what you said, and then I'll come back and make my ruling. So that's giving deference to your request. So I don't think it warrants you rolling your eyes at me.
I wasn't rolling my eyes to you about
So
that.
with that, we're on recess, 15 minutes, everyone. The court's stepping
Your
down.
Honor.
This trial spent more time on recess than did, I think, here we go. Let me find a spot where it's not on recess. I saw somebody here. Let's play it.
I went down White Rock, navigated float traffic, went down East Main Street in a westbound direction, and eventually came to East Main Street at Barstow Street, where I exited my patrol vehicle.
Okay, I'm gonna ask. Oh, yes.
Now,
I went down White Rock, navigated float traffic, went down East.
this is a short. Why are we watching this same thing again? I must have accidentally rewinded it or something. But my anticipation is that we're going to hear an objection from Darrell Brooks saying either leading or hearsay. He loves to object. He loves to say either leading or hearsay. He doesn't know the difference between he doesn't know anything, so he just says one of those two. Those are his go-to objections, and they're rarely sustained, if ever. Sometimes they're sustained, but not very often. I heard a statistic that he objected about 600 times in this trial. And there's a very small percentage of sustained objections. Let's watch this guy. He's obviously a police officer. I don't know what he's talking about. I really haven't seen this part of the trial before. I don't believe I have. I've seen so much of it because I watch it constantly. So I'm addicted to it. And but I've not seen him, I don't believe. Let's see we can figure out what he's talking about coming in the middle of what he's talking about.
East Main Street in a westbound direction, and eventually came to East Main Street at Barstow Street, where I exited my patrol vehicle.
Okay, I'm gonna ask. Oh, yes. Before I move away from Exhibit 1, could we please get a screenshot, Madam Clerk, of the drawings by Officer Phillips? And then I'm gonna ask to switch to Exhibit 6, please.
So for purposes of the record, I believe I'm at 1C for the capturing using the annotation feature.
Think we agree with that? Yes. All right, Officer, you see we've now put Exhibit 6 on your monitor. It's not yet displayed for the courtroom. Do you see Exhibit 6 on your monitor?
Yes.
Do you recognize this, or do you want us to play it for a few seconds?
I recognize what I'm looking at.
Okay. Do you believe this to be a truthful and accurate recording from your squad video that afternoon, sir?
I haven't listened to it at this point, but I would believe if it's from what I'm looking at, it would be accurate to my squad video, yes.
Okay. And you ultimately saved your squad video and submitted it to be used as evidence in this case, correct, sir?
Yes, I did.
All right, and this is a clip from that squad video?
It appears to be, yes.
Okay. Move to admit and permission to publish Exhibit 6, please.
Mr. Brooks, any position on that?
Yeah, what is the grounds? We haven't seen what's in the video.
Your objection is noted, it is overruled. Exhibit 6 is received, permission to publish is granted.
All right, so for the record, this clip is about 6 minutes long. It exactly ends at the 5:59 mark, but we're going to play it through Officer Phillips, and I may ask Ms. Gussie to pause at times so you can kind of describe what's going on in the video, but if you can just orient us what we're looking at right now, please, before we start playing.
So this is an orientation. This would be White Rock Avenue facing a southwesterly direction that will go directly to Main Street. This right here is Baxter Street. And then what you're looking at on the right-hand corner is White Rock Elementary School.
What about way down in the distance? It looks perhaps like it's a church steeple.
So you can see what looks like the church steeple down. That's going to be Main Street down there. And particularly of note, you can see what looks to be a silver-colored car in the center of the roadway. That is Sergeant Warner's unmarked SUV patrol vehicle.
Okay, now,
I'd just like to make a record when he was pointing and saying this, at least initially, he was using his right hand pointing to the roadway that's depicted in the still of this video image. He also said over here, or this is Baxter. You can see about midway in the frame a street sign, and there's a street that intersects. That's where he was pointing to, that particular street. Again, I believe that was Baxter. I believe the rest of his comments comport with the record and don't need further explanation, or at least verification by the court. So go ahead.
all right, thank you. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start to play. We're at the 0 mark right now. Where are you going now? Pause, please. I'm sorry. 9 second. We're pausing. Go ahead, officer.
So what you're looking at here is Baxter Street. And right off to your right-hand side, I get that pointing at things with my hand isn't necessarily ideal. But the building over here is the Sheetsy building. Where those squad lights are there is the parking lot of the Sheetsy building. There's at least one officer already on foot in this vicinity of the Sheetsy building where the alleged knife fight with multiple individuals were involved.
Okay. And I see, looks like red and blue lights there in the middle of the photo, or the video.
Correct.
Whose squad is that?
I know one of them is Officer Nick Hendrickson.
Okay. And is that the officer that you were referring to earlier when you said another officer was also trying to help you find these subjects involved in the fight?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Off to the left, it looks like there's a bunch of cars parked there.
Correct.
Is that
Cars. I wonder if they're in Wisconsin or anything. Cars parked there.
general parking available to the public?
That is general public parking for the Sheetsy building.
Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and play again.
For the subject of it, claiming that it's right now. And then they were at Hartwell and Maine with their other officers.
Are you driving on Baxter now?
I am driving down.
The two things here, last down clear, the right one, historic male, Hispanic female.
Pause it, please. Whose voice was that, if you know?
I'm not going to say I know 100% sure on that.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Play.
216 on 10-6. I will be calling. It's okay. special brain disorder.
Pause. It's a little hard to see, but on the right-hand side, did you see the individuals walking down the street there?
I did. My squad just passed.
I'm sorry,
but
sidewalk, yeah.
About 2 seconds prior, there were 3 individuals who were walking down the sidewalk. These are the 3 individuals that flagged me down on the passenger side of my car.
Okay. Go ahead.
We had 52 main and Barstow, have you got hit?
What? What? Black guy, red SUV, just assaulted my car with the car. This guy, he's not hitting you, so they call the cops.
I need some,
You guys involved with a knife or something? We can check you. Okay.
Okay.
Let me pull over here.
Yeah, fire me, you need a 1052 at copy 854.
122, from their car, west to westbound, by subway.
Wow. They got loud. I guess that's when it happened. When everything went, someone said, "What the fuck?" And when everything went out, when the shit hit the fan, I guess that's when it happened. Everything, all hell broke loose on the radio. I guess that's what happened. That's when it happened. That's when he started hitting people with his red SUV.
Hey, hold on for a second, okay? 216, I need another at Hartwell and White Rock. I have a person before you. Okay. White Rock, Hartwell, White Rock.
Shit. It's kind of creepy hearing it as it went down. That's crazy. That's what there it was.
Who ran? Okay, what is your name? What's your name? What's your birth? So, 10/7/1990, Erica Patterson? Okay. Okay.
I copy 78.
Well, my name is Patrick Control. People's Park, female, not conscious, not right, not breathing. King County, nobody here available down. Well, see that got multiple critical passes.
Wow. That's kind of wild. Man. Look what you did, pal. You piece of shit.
Okay, CPR, it's 369 West Main Street. Get an unconscious, unresponsive 5-year-old.
I'd love to hear his cross if he gives one. He'll probably say, I have no questions. He has what cross could he give this guy? I'd love to hear it if he does.
Was that you running away from your squad, sir?
That was me running away, yes.
Okay. Go ahead and have a seat, please. It was a little bit difficult to hear when you asked Erica Patterson who assaulted her. Did she tell you a name?
She did not, no.
She did not provide you with any names?
She did not.
Okay. You had her name and her date of birth, and that was it at that point?
That's all I could gather before I had to burn out of there as fast as I could.
Okay. Now, when you got to Main Street, where'd you go?
When I got to Main Street, as most of you probably just saw in the video,
Where'd you go? Where'd you go, eh? Where'd you go? Oh, now, where'd you go?
took a westbound direction all the way down to Barstow. There were still floats in the parade, and there were a lot of people that didn't exactly know what was happening in front of them. When I got to Barstow and entered my patrol vehicle, and you saw me running down towards the center of the street, at that point I was just trying to assist any officer, EMS, civilian individual that was around, and it was just mass chaos, carnage everywhere.
Did you attempt to render aid to some injured individuals?
There was approximately 2 to 3 individuals I can remember talking to directly. They were all members of the band. I don't know which band it was. It was one of the high school bands. They were in the vicinity just west of Barstow on Main. There was a number of them laying in the street, obviously injured. I had face-to-face contact with a few of them laying on the ground. There were parents screaming at me to help their kids. I did what basic measures that I could take as far as emergency life-saving goes. I checked pulses. I asked them to squeeze my finger, asked them what hurt, what they could move. The 2 or 3 I talked to could still move, they could still talk, they could tell me what hurt. There were multiple people standing around them also providing aid. At that point, some of the radio traffic that I was picking up on, I was gathering that potentially a vehicle had driven through the parade and hit some of these individuals. I contemplated throwing some of these people in my patrol vehicle and trying to get them to a hospital. However, my vehicle just simply isn't equipped to have that kind of space or room to do that. So, given the fact that I didn't want to try to move anybody unnecessarily that would cause further damage to them, especially if somebody's involved in blunt force trauma such as a car crash, I said, if you're doing fine right now, someone will be by shortly, we'll get you an ambulance, just hang tight where you are, and that's basically what I had to ensure at least the 2 or 3 people that I came across. The third person I came across was also a band member. She was a female. Her leg was obviously injured. She was being held upright by a couple of adults. And I asked her what was wrong, what was hurting, if there was anything more serious with her as she was being held up. And she said, "Officer, I saw what happened, I saw who did this." And I said, "What can you tell me?" And she said, "A red SUV sped through the parade and did this." She didn't say anything more than that. I said, "Okay." I was like, "Stay with your family, stay with your parents, somebody will be by with an ambulance to get you shortly."
These 3 injured individuals you spoke to, would you describe them all as being about teenage years?
Overruled, he may answer. Overruled, he may answer.
Are you going to answer to the question? To
Yes.
the prosecution table or to the jury? I'm not sure. He's looking at them answering the questions, but they're not answering the question. Answering the question.
You may answer the question, sir.
The 3
He was complaining about him answering and looking at the jury while he's doing so. Like he's testifying for the prosecution. Like he's testifying for the jury. Does the prosecution know what happened? The jury may not.
Individuals that I met with initially had
Or the jury definitely does not know what happened yet.
band uniforms on, and it was my understanding that the band from that vicinity right then and there was a high school band, so I would place them all at teenage age range.
Okay, thank you. Were you aware that at some point a person was taken into custody in the 500 block of Elizabeth Street that was related to this incident, sir?
Overruled.
I was made aware a little while after my involvement.
That's something else. His objections are hilarious to me. Usually he goes with his good old faithfuls, leading or hearsay. Irrelevant. He goes with that every now and then. He's actually gotten that sustained now. He's gotten hearsay sustained a couple times. He's gotten his leading sustained at least once. Let's see the rest of this direct. I hope he gets up there for a cross. That'd be hilarious.
Directly in the downtown area, yes.
Did you learn the name of the person who had been taken into custody?
Yes.
What was that name?
I knew from radio traffic at the time that it was a Daryl Brooks. I didn't know the date of birth or middle name or anything at that point.
At some point later, after the chaos had somewhat settled, did you have an opportunity to go back and try and investigate the initial complaint you had taken from Erica Patterson?
Yes, I did.
Did you attempt to identify Ms. Patterson fully through police records?
I did identify Ms. Patterson fully by positive ID, yes.
And did you learn of any complaints that have been filed by Ms. Patterson in the past to other police agencies?
Overruled. He may answer the question that's being posed at this point.
I did conduct some more investigation after my involvement in the entire mass casualty incident.
Now he seems to be sticking with his goal irrelevant. He hasn't gotten it sustained yet, but he's fighting for it, isn't he? Let's see what he does now. He will object again, I promise you. He objects constantly. Usually after every question, objection, leading, objection, hearsay.
When I went back to the police department afterwards, and I was able to verify that Erica Patterson had been involved in other police cases outside of Waukesha.
And specifically, did you find anything linking Ms. Patterson to the defendant, Daryl Brooks?
Hearsay.
Overruled.
I did find information
How is that hearsay?
through our reporting system and other law enforcement sources to directly link Erica Patterson to Daryl Brooks, yes.
And did that information also directly link Daryl Brooks to a vehicle described as a red SUV?
Yes, it did.
I don't have any other questions for this witness at this time, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Brooks, you may start your cross-examination.
He is going to cross him. This should be fun. Let's watch.
I noticed Officer Phillips, you are in uniform this afternoon. Were you scheduled to work today?
Yes.
So it would be fair to say that you would be on duty as of now if you weren't giving testimony in this matter.
I would be on duty right now, yes.
So it would also be fair to ask if it would be fair to say that You give a testimony right now, you're still getting paid for it?
I am currently employed by the City of Waukesha Police Department on a working patrol shift, on a normal shift for myself, yes.
So with that,
Would it be fair to say, we're going to hear that over and over again, would it be fair to say, 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 would it be fair to say?
fair to say that you are being paid right now as we speak?
Yes, I'm getting paid right now.
By whom?
Sustained. Next question.
Were you subpoenaed by the plaintiff in this matter?
This is where he'll go into who is the plaintiff, and he'll say the state of Wisconsin. He'll say, have you talked to the state of Wisconsin? Do you see the state of Wisconsin in the courtroom right now? His point is, he tries to make the point that he can't be charged with a crime by anyone but a person. And in other words, an entity like the state of Wisconsin cannot charge him with a crime. It has to be a living, breathing person. Otherwise, he can't be charged with a crime. That's where he's getting, that's what he's trying to get at now, I bet. Watch.
Can you rephrase the question?
Were you subpoenaed to testify here today by the plaintiff?
Can you explain it in another way?
That was pretty clear. Were you subpoenaed to testify by the plaintiff in this matter?
I was subpoenaed by the Waukesha County Prosecution's Office to testify in this matter.
And can you say that again just for the record?
I was subpoenaed by the Waukesha County Prosecution's Office in this matter.
Is the Waukesha County Prosecution's Office the plaintiff in this matter?
Sustained.
Do you know of any plaintiff in this matter?
Objection, irrelevant.
Sustained.
Have you ever seen the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection, irrelevant.
He does this over and over again. I keep objecting, and soon the judge will tell him to move on or she's going to stop his cross. She has stopped it in the past for him not moving on.
Have you ever talked to the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection, irrelevant.
Sustained.
Why are you continuing to look at parties that are not asking the questions?
Argumentative.
Sustained.
So, in the video, it's kind of hard to hear everything that's said when you pulled over and interviewed the 3 individuals.
It certainly wasn't hard to hear. It was hard to understand because it was so loud. It wasn't hard to hear. I heard it just fine, but it was too loud to understand anything.
Can you give a little more commentary on what was actually said?
Can you clarify exactly?
What exactly were you told by the 3 individuals that you pulled over to interview?
I don't remember or recall exactly what all 3 individuals said to me as 1078 in the screams for help by other officials over the radio were directing my attention to figure out what was also going on downtown. What I recall hearing from these individuals is that one of the individuals that was not Erica indicated that their friend had been in a fight or an altercation. So that's when I decided to pull over and try to get more information out of them. She, Erica, told me that nothing happened, that there was just a verbal altercation, that she wanted nothing to happen and she just wanted to leave. That's when another one of the individuals said, Erica, you need to report what happened. And she still didn't want to. And that was basically about the extent of it when I just tried to get her name as these calls over the radio were coming for whatever was happening downtown that was unbeknownst to me at the time.
So would it be fair to say that you do recall the commentary of the interview?
I'm sorry. Now I will object as argumentative, Your Honor.
Sustained. What I would say, Mr. Brooks, is the use of the word commentary mischaracterizes the evidence. It's argumentative.
So it would be fair to say that you do recall what was said after already saying you don't recall.
I object.
Argumentative.
It's argumentative.
Yep.
Sustained. Rephrase your question.
I want to be just one thing. I can't believe. I want to be brave. I want to be selfless, intelligent, and honest, and kind.
It would be fair to say that you responded to a fight at Frame Park, possibly involving a knife. That'd be fair to say.
That is what the initial dispatch was, yes.
Was any knife recovered from that scene, or
I did not recover a knife. No.
did you see anybody with a knife?
I did not see any individual with a knife.
Did you learn who reported that there was a knife involved?
I do not know the subjects' names that actually reported the incident.
From your recollection, sorry. Just 1 second. From your recollection, was Erica Patterson being cooperative with the information that she gave you?
Erica Patterson was not being cooperative with the information she was giving me. No.
Daytime photos where the sky is so bright it actually looks white. In this photo, not even close. I mean, look at this. The UFOs far exceed the daylight. Look at that. Not even the chrome card bumpers are shining as brightly. So what could possibly be so bright at an already well-lit time of day? We ask our experts to shine some lights on this mystery.
Do you recall if the male individual reported any information to you?
I believe I heard a male's voice during the time that I was flagged down. I don't recall what information he told me directly.
But there was 3 individuals that you interviewed at that time. Would that be fair to say?
There were 3 individuals present at the time I was flagged down, yes.
And one of them was a male. Would that be fair to say?
Correct, yes.
But you don't recall him relaying any type of information to you at that time?
I remember hearing a male's voice. I don't remember what information that specific person told me at that time.
Just so we put on the record.
One artifact from double exposures is ghosting, where you see unwanted elements of that second photograph.
About how long did you conduct that interview, would you say? Was it a couple of minutes?
An interview. He talked to them for as long as you saw on the freaking tape, idiot. It wasn't an interview. They flagged him down and he talked to them. And it was as long as you saw. You just saw it.
I'd have to look directly at the squad video for an exact timestamp, but I would say it was in the vicinity of 1.5 to 2 minutes.
Possibly 4 lights being painted, reflecting the window. I'm thinking that we're looking at something that was actually reflected in the window. But could the Air Force's Project Blue Book investigators really have overlooked such an obvious explanation? And what's more,
After you interviewed those 3 individuals, did you later gain any more information of the incident that you were investigating at that time?
I did not gain any further information regarding the specific fight that I was initially dispatched to, no.
Supernatural origin. We don't really know. Our verdict? Genuine UFO. We think both our experts presented compelling cases, but the reflection theory just doesn't hold up.
What a great job he's doing, huh?
Explain these UFOs. If you can, let us know. Now, let's head a bit north and way west. Forget
And just so we're clear for the record, you did not talk to the plaintiff about testifying.
creature. Canada might be a place to be. Just take a look at our next story.
Sustained.
It's June 21st.
He said vague.
In the Haymarket Bay section of Hubble Lake, British Columbia. A woman sees a very strange
Yes, she said vague.
and unusually fast rate across
Were
the
you
lake.
contacted in any way by the plaintiff to testify here today?
The video is
Objection
clear
irrelevant.
because the witness is about
Sustained.
500 yards away. But we can clearly see several large waves cutting their way through.
He's trying to get back to that old, no one charged him by an entity, and he has to be charged by a living, breathing person thing again. And it's just not going to get by.
Do you know if there's even a plaintiff in this matter?
What could have caused this wave? Could there be some large creature making its home in Hubble Lake? Field researcher Ken Gerhardt is reminded.
I was contacted by the Waukesha County District Attorney's Office to testify in this case.
Celebrated lake monster in Canada is
Do you know if that's the plaintiff in this matter?
Lake Okanagan in British Columbia. And the general description
Generally, in a criminal case, the plaintiff would be the state of Wisconsin.
sometimes possessing horns.
That is my assumption in this case, that the plaintiff is.
Now, Jose, do you see the plaintiff in the courtroom? Have you talked to the state of Wisconsin? Have you met with the state of Wisconsin? Blah, blah, blah.
State of Wisconsin.
So the state of Wisconsin is the plaintiff in this matter to your knowledge?
That would be correct, yes.
No further questions.
I think you do me redirect.
He's so proud of himself. He did nothing, and he said, no further questions, Your Honor.
Just very briefly, one question. You have been asked by Mr. Brooks if you did anything to further investigate the initial fights that you were dispatched to. Do you remember that question?
Yes.
Did you in fact relay to detectives who were working on this parade incident the information you had found out about the link between Erica Patterson and Daryl Brooks?
Yes.
To your knowledge, did detectives then follow up?
To my knowledge, it's detectives that followed up on any further investigation regarding the fight itself.
Thank you. Nothing else.
All right, thank you, sir. You may step down.
Let's see if our experts think there's a new creature from Hubble Lake to add to the list. We first bring this curious footage to video forensic analyst Michael Freeman.
No, go ahead. You have your next one.
Yes, I'd also like to move Exhibit 1C into the record, please.
Exhibit 1C is received.
Thank you.
I'm sure he'll say I object, irrelevant. That's his go-to objection for exhibits. He'll say it's irrelevant.
The objection is noted.
Can I
Over.
take the ground, if I may?
You may.
There's a point in the video that was shown, like during the interview part between the officer and the 3 individuals where,
That's not the exhibit we're talking about.
well,
We're talking about 1C, which is the annotations to the map that were made, that are captured by the annotation system that the state just moved in and the court received.
okay, I miss I didn't understand what was being referred to.
And well, now you do, so shut up.
I was gonna bring this up, but I wanted to wait.
Sir, let's take it up outside the presence of the jury later on. You'll have to remind me later. I've already received the video, which is exhibit number 6.
That video has some language in it that you made an order on. So I just want to put that on the record. Something that you ruled.
Sir, we'll take it up outside the presence of the jury. All right? I need to keep going on. Next witness, please.
State will call Kyle Edwards.
Please make your way to the witness stand, which is to my right. It is up a riser. When you get to the witness stand, please remain standing, raise your right hand, and my clerk Teresa will swear you in.
As we see here, depending on changes in temperature, evaporation, and precipitation.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you, sir. Please be seated. First thing I will ask you to do is to state your first and last names for the record and then spell each.
Kyle Edwards, KYLEEDWARDS.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for being here. What city or town do you live in, sir?
At the time, Waukesha. I live in Pewaukee.
Okay, so back in November of 2021, you lived here in Waukesha, is that correct? Okay, and I just want to ask you very briefly, do you have any medical training, sir?
I've been in the service for 17 years, so limited combat lifesaver, just basis on the warrior tasks, that type of medical stuff.
Okay. And on November 21 of 2021, did you make plans to attend the Waukesha Christmas parade?
Yes, ma'am.
And were you attending that parade with any family members?
Yeah, my wife and 2 kids at the time.
Okay. Did you travel to the area where the parade is being held by car?
Yes, ma'am.
And
Car?
remember
Car?
what road you may have taken to approach the parade area?
Yeah, we live just east of Frank Park, so we crossed the river and
In our car?
then came up into the downtown area using North Street, East North Street.
Okay. And is there a time when you came to the intersection of North Street and Barstow?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, at the corner of East North Street and Barstow, there was a stoplight there. So.
Okay. I'm going to put up a document that's been labeled as exhibit number 7. You'll get a chance to look at it on your screen first, sir.
I've had enough of this. Peace.